Once upon a time, in a peaceful African kingdom, there lived a tortoise. He was small, slow, but very clever. People in the land said he was the smartest creature in the forest. Some said he was wise. Others said he was just a smooth talker. But one thing was sure, the tortoise always had an answer for everything. One bright morning, the king of the land made an announcement. He said, "I will give a special place in my palace to the wisest creature in the kingdom." When the tortoise heard this, he smiled proudly and said, "Finally, everyone will see my greatness." On the day of the contest, all the animals gathered in the king's courtyard. The lion stood tall. The elephant flapped his big ears. The parrot was repeating everything it had practiced. And then came the tortoise, walking slowly but confidently. The king sat on his throne and spoke in a calm voice. He said, "Whoever can answer my question with both truth and wisdom will be called the royal advisor." Everyone became quiet. The king looked at them and asked, "What is the greatest danger to a wise man?" The lion roared, "It is a strong enemy." The elephant said, "It is hunger." The parrot shouted, "It is silence." Then the tortoise smiled gently and said, "The greatest danger to a wise man is his own mouth." The king raised his eyebrows and said, "Explain." The tortoise bowed his head and replied, "A wise man may know many things, but when he speaks too much, he loses his peace." Everyone nodded in agreement, but the tortoise wasn't done. He added proudly, "Of course, not everyone can be as wise as me." The king laughed loudly. He said, "Ah, so even your own mouth betrays your wisdom." The animals began to laugh too. The tortoise blinked, realizing he had just proven his own point. The king said, "Truly, the tortoise is wise, but even wisdom needs control." That day, the tortoise did not become the royal advisor. But the king liked him so much that he invited him often to tell stories in the palace. From that day, whenever the tortoise wanted to speak, he would touch his mouth first and whisper to himself, "Be careful, my friend. Don't lose your peace again." And so, the tortoise learned something great, that wisdom is not just about knowing, but about knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. Because sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. And that is why, even today, the tortoise walks slowly and talks gently. Not because he cannot move fast, but because he understands the value of calmness.